Vue.js. So Vue.js is a component-based JavaScript framework. And what that means is that it uses building blocks to create the app that you're making. They call it a modular design, which means you can change it with different things. So in this last week, we went over Vue.js, and let me just say, this has been a struggle for me. I feel really, really confident with front-end programming, and I know that I will get this better soon. But for now, this has been very, very difficult. I'm not understanding why we're using Vue when I know that React is so much of a widely adapted framework for other places, but they say that Vue is a good language to learn with, and I'll stick with that for now because if you can learn one very well, switching to another shouldn't be too difficult. I have used React in the past, but very, very little. I touched it for a moment, and definitely not to the depth that we have done with Vue. I can see where it's going, but it has been difficult. But once again, I still stick with I love the front end. So last week we got into event handling with Vue. We used Vue routers, which routes pages to where we want them to go. I actually learned a lot about how apps work in general. And I don't know, it was kind of cool to see why sometimes when I hit the back button, it doesn't actually take me back. It takes me to Google. And it's really cool to just see how all that stuff works because it's a lot of stuff that I didn't know before. We learned about event handling with Vue, routers, how to build different components. It was a lot. It was very quick. I think the little apps that we did, I'm going to try to redo in React when I'm finished with Tech Elevator. That way I can touch React a little bit more because I feel like that's the framework I really want to learn because I see that the most. Let me know if you think Vue is worth expanding my knowledge on because from what I see, it seems like React. But everybody says Vue is a good language to learn from. We'll see. I struggled. I didn't struggle so much with the router part. That part was pretty easy for me. But like the components, there was just so much. I struggled a lot. This was a very, very rough week for me. But I, oddly enough, felt so much more confident. I just kept banging my head into the wall until eventually something stuck. And here we are finished with that. 3 out of 3 still. I'll take it. Yeah, man, I can see the benefits of using frameworks in JavaScript. I really like writing JavaScript code. It makes me really excited, but like putting everything, the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript all on one page and making it a building block that can be pushed to another view, another homepage, another about page, whatever it may be. I can really see the benefit with that, especially with large apps. Felt like I learned a lot with this just because I didn't understand how apps work as much, and now I kind of do, and it's really cool. It's cool, man. I really like it a lot. Next week we will be learning about Post with web service. I think we're going to learn about Axios, so JavaScript and Axios next week. There's only 2 days of lecture next week, and then we have a review day where we kind of put everything together and get ready because we are getting ready to start our final capstone. I chose city tours because I think the map's going to look really good for a demo for whichever employer I go to. I do have a few side projects already, but this one's going to be a very major one. I'm building it with a team in a sprint. Super excited about that. So we'll be starting that next week. We've done some of this, so I feel like it's going to be review. Getting nervous. I'm excited. I'm thinking about how much I've learned in this short amount of time compared to how much I learned learning on my own. And it's huge. I'm really glad that I came here. I've learned so much in such a short amount of time. I'm so excited to continue this education and continue learning. I'm really glad that you guys are following and watching and just giving me support. I've had so much support. I've met so many people willing to just help me, man. And I genuinely appreciate it. With that being said, hit like and subscribe. I am on the job hunt heavy. I have my resume looking real good. I'm doing the 2-prong approach and I feel good about it, most days, and some days I'm scared to death, but I think that's the name of the game. So I'm just going to keep going. Yeah. Thanks for your time. Have a good one.